Little bit late on this one, people, with all the AJ Wilder news going on. I haven't yet come around to covering this particular news item, which is the announcement that the World Boxing Super Series second season will feature the super lightweight division or light welterweight division, whichever you prefer to call it, the 140-pound division. And the first world champion that's confirmed to be in it is Kirill Relic. Now, some of you may remember that Relic lost to Ricky Burns a couple of years ago. He lost a unanimous decision. He's since come back and had two fights against Barthélemy, losing the first one and then winning the second one on a UD. And that's where he picked up his version of the world title, which is the WBA. Now, as far as the other competitors that are going to be in this, let's see here. This article on the World Boxing Super Series website. It talks about some of the people that are going to be in it. In the super lightweight division, Anthony Yigit is going to be in it. Ivan Baranchyk, these are not world champions. Yigit is a mandatory. Baranchyk also a mandatory, so I guess the IBF title holder at super lightweight has got two mandatories and Relic. And at bantamweight, obviously, you got Ricky Burns, you got Rodriguez, you got Tete. So the bantamweight version of this tournament is looking more promising at the moment than the super lightweight version. But in the super lightweight division, you do have people like Ohara Davies, for example. You do have Josh Taylor. It'd be interesting to see if you could get either one of those guys into this particular tournament. And with Josh Taylor, you would imagine probably not, because he's on the brink of a world title shot anyway. But then again, if they offer him the right kind of money, maybe he will. And as I say, these other guys are also on the brink of world title shots. But I don't know whether, I know Yigit doesn't have the profile of a Josh Taylor in the UK. And as far as Baranchyk, I doubt he has the profile of a Josh Taylor. You see, if you're going to enter something like the World Boxing Super Series, it's often when you don't have as big a profile as you would like. And so you go into the tournament, you take a gamble going into the tournament because you're going to be facing tough fighters. You're not going to be able to cherry pick your opposition, but you're going to be paid handsomely, and you're also going to be able to boost your profile, especially if you pick up a couple of wins, and definitely if you win the whole competition. So it's going to attract people who, maybe feel like they need a boost in terms of their profile. Now, with the cruiserweights last season, the entire cruiserweight division needed a boost, right? That's why you got all the champions in there, because the money was so much better in the tournament than they were getting outside of the tournament that there was no reason for them not to join. Whereas with the super middleweight division last year, you only got one world champion going in it, George Groves, because the other world champions, they had other situations going on. They felt like they could make more, maybe not necessarily more money elsewhere, but they could make good money elsewhere, and they felt like their profiles didn't need boosting that much to go into the tournament. And you could argue that they really did, but that must be the way they were looking at it to not join the tournament. But anyway, whatever the case may be, I just wonder whether Josh Taylor would actually join this tournament. I hope he would, because I want to see the very best in there. So I hope all the world champions can join. I hope, the top contenders. But there's obviously only a certain amount of slots. And as far as Ohara Davies, would he also join this? Again, he's got a profile. Does he need to join this? And I was thinking again the other day about all these people who say Ohara Davies can't win a world title. Kirill Relic has got a version of a world title. This is a guy who lost to Ricky Burns. No disrespect to Ricky Burns or Kirill Relic. But if a guy like this can win a world title, I see no reason why Ohara Davies at some point can't win one. No reason at all. It's not like the 140-pound division is stacked. And that is something we have to look at too, is the fact that the 140-pound division isn't stacked. It should make it easier to get guys in. But again, it just depends on the way the top fighters at 140 view themselves and view their profiles. You know, we might say their profiles need a boost, but is that what they think in their own heads? And are some of these fighters even allowed? Do their television contracts prohibit them from entering the World Boxing Super Series, prohibit them from fighting on a different network, potentially? Do their promotional contracts prohibit them from entering a tournament like this? So it's risk reward at the end of the day. And when you step into a tournament like this, you do get a set schedule. You do get nice money, but you're not going to be able to cherry pick. You're not going to be able to pick the styles that you want to face, unless you're a seeded boxer. And then, of course, you get to pick your first round opponent. But after that, when you're in the knockout stages, you don't get to pick. So anyway, let me stop waffling about this, people. Let me know what you think about the second season World Boxing Super Series lineup. I think it's, at the moment, a little underwhelming. Obviously, the bantamweights are quite interesting, but even that is not as exciting for me as the cruiserweights were last season, and even the super middleweights. So we'll see how this, the World Boxing Super Series manages to build and adds more people to the second season. And we need to see a conclusion to the first season. We haven't had either one of the finals yet. And that's really disappointing, because the World Boxing Super Series was really all about having a set schedule that fans could latch onto and get used to. That's what it was all about. Having a set schedule where the season always starts the same time every year. And you have the semi-finals and then the final basically the same time every year. And even on the actual fight nights, the first bell for the main event is at the same time every evening. So the fact that they haven't managed to stick to the finals, the scheduling with the finals, that's disappointing. But anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments, people. It's happening. I'm out.